More on this, we are joined by Gordan Chang, columnist, lawyer, and the author of The Coming Collapse of China. Gordan, real quick question for you. Do you believe that the topic of espionage will even be broached in these APEC meetings?
I'm sure that all issues will be broached, but the question is how much effort will President Biden put into pursuing them? So, yeah, they might talk about it, but, we've seen on the part of the administration, a focus on certain issues. And I'm sure that those are the issues that will take up almost all the time.
I want to ask another question that might seem out of left field, but the pandas. China asking and demanding all of its pandas to be sent back that we've had here for years as a gift, a diplomatic gift. That happening right before this meeting. So, I mean, how much does that play into conversations that'll be happening in San Francisco?
Probably none at all. But, this is just typical Chinese diplomacy. It's huffing and puffing and throwing tantrums, and pandas are part of it. But also, Adrienne, just before this, we had China engage in some very dangerous acts of war against the Philippines at Second Thomas Shoal in the South China Sea. And I hope that President Biden will raise this. I'm not sure that he will. But this is China on the eve of the summit, not only taking back its pandas, but bullying and provoking the United States and our treaty ally, the Philippines.
And this is certainly, I mean, between our conversations with the Philippines and Taiwan, Taiwan wanting a one-on-one with the president at the same time that he's scheduled to meet with Xi Jinping. How does this all play out in terms of the right optics? I mean, clearly, saving face is still a very time-honored tradition within Asian diplomacy with any world leader. But how do you give enough time to Taiwan and send that strong message of support while also opening up talks with Xi Jinping?
This really puts the Biden administration in a bind because they should be talking to the leader of another democracy. Instead, we're talking to a militant, aggressive state that has been killing Americans with fentanyl, that has been stealing hundreds of billions of dollars of U.S. intellectual property a year. And the message to the world is, if you're a peaceful, responsible state, you don't get time with the president of the United States. It's only if you do something horrible over a course of decades that we will actually honor you. So that's just the wrong optics.
But what does America need to do, and what does the president specifically need to do to show that this is nothing, or to show that this is actually something more than a handshake and politicization? I mean, are we going to see anything real come out of these meetings?
We're going to see some agreements, for instance, on fentanyl, on climate change, on the use of AI in the control of nuclear weapons. But, China's had agreements before, and they have been completely ignored by the Chinese. So the question is whether these agreements will have any substance, because this is not, for instance, the first agreement on climate change or the first agreement on fentanyl. The agreement on AI is completely unenforceable. So if these deals don't work out, I think that President Biden will pay a price for that, because this is something the U.S. has done again and again for 3 decades, and we've continually failed at it. And failing one more time, to me, is inexcusable.
What about these Americans in China who are being detained? Obviously, the State Department is aware of these people, but is it a priority for the State Department, especially in light of what is going on in Russia and Ukraine, as well as in the Middle East with Israel and Hamas?
It's not a priority. If it were, we would be hearing the State Department and the president talk about it, which they haven't. But, clearly Americans have been grabbed in circumstances that suggest that this is not normal law enforcement. China had done this with many other countries as well. China takes hostages. They take hostages because they get away with it. And unfortunately, the United States is not willing to impose those costs on Beijing for endangering the lives of Americans, such as it done with these 3.
Gordan, you are well informed in terms of relationships between China and other nations, not just America. What do we all need to know about China when it comes to the war going on between Israel and Hamas?
China, this war would not have happened were it not for China. China's purchases of Iranian oil, for instance, in the first 9 months of this year was 60% above the pace in 2017. 2017 is a relevant year because in 2018, the U.S. reimposed sanctions on the purchase of Iranian oil. So China has been supporting Iran, which has been supporting Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthi militia. And these groups actually have Chinese and North Korean weapons. They would not have North Korean weapons unless China approved of it. And yet we are not holding China accountable for this. So China continues to try to destabilize the world because they're doing the same thing with Ukraine. They're doing the same thing in North Africa with Russia. And we are just not holding them accountable.
It's fascinating. A lot of people, of course, focusing on Iran, but it looks like, from at least what you're saying, all roads do lead back to Beijing. Gordan Chang, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Adrienne.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.